What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Fantasy Football Game Show brought to you by Front Yard Fantasy here on Better Sports Network. I'm your host, Simon, joined as always by my co-hosts, Joey Wright and John Luke Garofalo. What's up, boys?
What up?
Guys, joining us as well
everybody?
today.
You got a drink?
Joey, I think, is lagging a little bit, or that Java Monster hasn't kicked in. Joining us today as well, we have our great friend, special guest coming back to the Fantasy Football Game Show, Tommy Moe. You can find him on Twitter at 2on1FFB. He's creating creative and content over at the Undroppables. And if you have not checked out his Breaking Bread series yet, make sure you go and read those right now. Some of the advice might be a little bit related to last season, but that content is evergreen. Just fair warning, you will leave hungry after looking at some of those pictures they got in there. Tommy, thank you so much for joining us, my friend.
What's up, Simon? Thank you guys for having me back again. I think this is my third time on the show, and always a fun show. I'm always excited to be here. It's always a good time, and yeah, I love coming and talking and playing these games with you guys. Definitely,
Tommy, before I die, we better get that number up to 100. That's now my goal in life.
I like it. Let's make it happen. Especially because I don't do my own podcast show anymore because I'm mostly writing and taking care of stuff at the Undroppables. I love guest spotting. I love coming on as a guest. I love just talking shop, talking sports with you guys, and then to come on this show. You know, like I love just doing it in general, but to come here and just like have a good time, like it's always the best for me.
And we throw some fun stuff at Tommy. The very first time Tommy ever came on, the entire show was a hats bracket. We did a bracket of hats,
thing was just
sombreros, lumberjack
hats up against each other, and picking one that's the best.
I don't even know if we talked football. I think it was literally just hats.
just hats.
There was no connection at all.
Well, today we are going to we're going to play a game with Tommy. He won Jeopardy last time he came on. See if he can take these guys down in some quote quote face, and then we're going to be drafting some of the worst possible places they could hold the NFL draft. We've seen some pretty cool spots. They just had it in Kansas City. There were the ideas of doing it in Vegas with a boat for every pick before the pandemic hit. But we're talking on the opposite end of the spectrum. What are the absolute worst places it could happen? Before we get into all that, though, we got some people in the chat ready for today's show. Craig down here said, I'm not singing it. FYF, don't know what they do for me. It's like the Mo guests FYF brings on the Mo Tommy we see.
Oh,
what's up, Craig? Welcome in, my friend. We got Albert in the chat. What's up, Albert? Welcome in, my friend. And Dustin with the hashtag Team Joey, as always, in there. We have our friend Ladarius down here. Good afternoon, all. Hope all is well.
What's up, Ladarius?
But not with all today. There is someone that Ladarius is wishing ill will towards because usually he wishes all well to all. Who do you think it is, JL? Did you piss him off?
I think so. I drafted earlier in the Dynasty League, so he should be happy with me.
He should be pretty happy. We got Vaporware in the chat. What's up, Vaporware? Welcome in, my friend. And Victor down here with the Happy Taco Tuesday, bro. Chacho says he's having some shrimp tacos tonight with some pico de gallo. Let's go. Welcome in, Victor. We got Dame in the chat as well. What's up, Dame? And Better
What
Boss.
Up, Dame?
Matt down here said, I'm all fired up for this edition of The Big Show.
The Big Show.
The Big Show's here?
The Big Show is here.
No, he's not here? Okay.
No. Next week.
He's a wrestler. Well, guys, you probably didn't know that.
I thought it was a baseball player, if we're being honest. Not sure who. That sounded like a baseball player nickname, didn't it?
I think it was the Big Unit, wasn't it? It was Randy Johnson.
Is that what I'm thinking of?
The Big Unit. Yep. It was only about his throwing capabilities. That's it. That's what that name's about.
Not the size of
his height. The size of his height.
The size of his height or anything like that. I was trying to think of something to say besides penis with the classic misdirect, but the only thing I could think of was penis. So thanks for rescuing me on that one. I really appreciate it.
Do you know what Randy Johnson does now?
Kill birds?
Photos, right?
No.
For the NFL?
He does. He's a photographer.
Take pictures of killing birds.
The biggest freaking photographer out there.
If you watch NFL games, you can sometimes see him on he's always got credentials on the sideline. This 6'5" guy taking pictures.
Yeah, probably stands out. Or you just assume he's with the team. Like you see a 6'5" man on a football sideline. It's got to be a coach, right? Got to be a coach. Well, guys, we brought Tommy here, like we mentioned, to play a couple games with us today. The first one we're going to be playing is Quotey McQuoteface. But before we get into that, a couple reminders. First and foremost, if you're not already following Tommy on Twitter, go and fix that right now. You can find his work with the Undroppables in the aforementioned Breaking Bread article series linked right there. He's on Twitter at 2on1FFB. It's right there below his handsome face on the screen. So head on over there and follow him. After you do that, if you're watching the show on our YouTube channel, thank you so much. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button at FYF Front Yard Fantasy and hit that notification bell to make sure you never miss us going live every day at our new old time, 3 p.m. Eastern time. You guys ready to get into our first game here?
Let's do it.
Do it.
Do it. The first game we're playing today is called Quotey McQuoteface. If you hung out with us bright and early during the morning show, you are probably a little bit familiar with this game, but here is how it's going to work. I'm going to present a quote to our contestants, an anonymous quote. The job of the contestants is going to be to tell me who said it and why they said it, what the context of the quote is. So what are they talking about and who said it? Whenever it's your turn, you're going to have first crack at it. There are 2 points available, one for the name of the person, one for the context of the quote. If you miss either part of that, though, your opponents will have the opportunity to steal those points from you on your turn in turn order. We'll take turns going in turn order with the quotes being presented to each of our contestants in turn. We'll go through 2 rounds like this. Whoever's got the most points at the end of that is our Quotey McQuoteface champion. You guys ready?
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
Let's do this. We got Hal in the chat. Hal is a Quotey McQuoteface.
What up, Hal?
What's up, Hal? Welcome in, my friend. And Jay said, look at this handsome group of men. What's up, Jay? Could be a little more handsome if you were here.
True.
Go ahead and pull that board game up. Pull up our first quote. The order of today's game is going to be JL, Tommy, and then Joey. So, JL, this first quote is going to be yours. I'm going to pull it up, and we're going to jump right into it. Are you ready?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Here is your first quote. I have so much respect for that position and so much regard for what that weighs into our football team and how we play and the mentality and all of that. We've had some terrific guys over the years, and I think we just put this class back together in a really good spot for this position. Who said this, and why did they say it?
Oh, I do not like being on this side of the game. I'm usually,
Yeah,
I'm usually the one hosting it. Shoot. I have so much respect for that position and so much regard for what that weighs into our football team. What the heck is this person talking about? Freaking rambling. Gosh, we've had some terrific guys over the years. This should be a team that has gone through it. Let's go with shoot, I don't know.
You're pulling a coop, the classic. Let's go with.
Dang
How many
it.
times can you say?
Let's go with Frank Reich on Bryce Young.
Final answer?
Yeah.
That is wrong on both accounts, JL, which means, Tommy, you're going to have an opportunity to steal these points. Who do you think said this, and why did they say that?
Okay, I'm going to be completely honest. I kind of have no idea, but I'm also like trying not to look at the chat with like
I will let you know. Look at the chat at your own risk in this game.
Okay,
this is a hard game for sure.
This is a hard game. Like what position, what guy? Man, I have no idea. I felt so confident coming into this game because I did so well on Jeopardy last time and just smoked it. Like, I'm gonna crush this thing. And this first one, I was like,
study.
dude, I have no idea.
Do you wanna throw a name and reason out there? Take a shot at it.
I'll steal one from the chat. Pete Carroll talking about Zach Charbonnet.
Final answer?
Sure, final answer.
Tommy, you stole the correct one out of 8 wrong answers from the chat. There were 8 incorrect answers in the chat. A lot of people saying the wrong thing. You came in, and shout out Dave also in the chat getting this one. That's going to be 2 points your direction, Tommy. And this was Pete Carroll on drafting running backs despite having Kenneth Walker III.
That's a fantastic picture you picked for this.
Shout out to Jay for picking the photographs for this one. You can always count on Jay to find the shirtless picture of Pete Carroll.
Always. It's got a knack for it.
100% of the time. Also, Dave in the chat saying, let's go. I I wasn't even sure. TBH
I love
was a
that.
guess.
I love that one the best.
So it made it. So Tommy, you identified this one, and I've heard mixed opinions on this move. How do you feel about this landing spot for Charbonnet, and what does it do to Kenneth Walker?
Yeah, I wish Kenneth Walker got one of like the true third down running back pass catching guys that are in this class, because it's filled with them. Zach Charbonnet is the one guy that I felt most represented after Bijan, a more complete type of running back. Like, he could do it all. And he can catch well, so I think it's almost like, I don't know, like, I don't want to say like Chris Carson, Rashad Penny, but you're almost just waiting for like, it's like a safety valve for Ken Walker. And if he's not going to be fully healthy all the time, or something happens, or and to be fair too, like, a lot of these guys are making great moves for the football team, and when guys go down, you really need the next man up. And if in that event, if it happens, they lost Rashad Penny, so if Kenny goes down, then slotting in Zach Charbonnet right away, I think to step in can at least keep the team moving forward. I don't want to say that he's going to be a Pro Bowler right away or in the first couple of years. Like, I like him. I think he's good, but I think the offense will still continue to operate in the same regard if Zach's in there, or if Kenny's in there.
Yeah. I know there's a lot of disappointment just because people were so excited that he could potentially be that workhorse back, but probably not going to happen with Kenneth Walker in the mix there. We got Better Boss in the chat chiming in saying Tommy looks like Aaron Rodgers. Have you gotten that one before?
Okay, this is weird because I just started. We just started football practice, tackle football for my 9-year-old kid, and I was out at practice, and I'm helping coach the offense, defensive line, and this little kid looks up at me and goes, "Why do you look like Aaron Rodgers?" And I thought it was the weirdest thing ever. I looked up, was like, "What?" Like, almost tweeted like, "Kids are the best. They just say the nicest things that make you feel happy." But I've never gotten that before. So the fact that I got it twice in a week is kind of weird for me.
Must be true.
I thought you were about to say that you just started an ayahuasca cleanse or something along those lines, or you just started a darkness retreat.
Yeah,
I'm tripping right now.
So actually, I'm glad we're doing this today, because this weekend I am going on a darkness retreat. No, we're going camping, and I will be off the grid. So it is, maybe I'm just living those vibes, those Aaron Rodgers vibes.
Off the grid, on the plant.
Yeah, man, having a good time.
All
right.
Well, Tommy, that is going to give you a lead of 2-0 after this one. Nice job. And it's your turn for the next quote. So we are going to move to you for the next turn.
Oh, I don't get off the hook because I got
you got JL's, which means here's your next quote. It's not going to change my work ethic, regardless if I went redacted or redacted. I can't let the circumstances dictate my work ethic. I ended up where I was meant to be, and I'm just looking forward to competing and getting started. Who said this and why?
I really feel like I should have paid attention to like post-draft interviews from players, because I just went straight into analysis and where these guys landed. I ended up where I was meant to be. I'm just looking forward to competing and getting started. Oh, is that Will Levis going in the second?
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Before anybody in the chat, you got that one right, Tommy. Nice job, my friend. 2 more points from your direction.
Oh.
This is Will Levis opening up about falling out of the first round and being taken by the Titans in the second.
Jay, I love you, Jay. Please, more shirtless men pictures. Thank you.
Oh,
is this going to be a full sweep? Is every quote going to be a shirtless man pic?
No, we just got the good ones in there early. We had to start the show off with a bang with a couple.
Last night,
what is he eating there?
the banana.
Like
it's a rib.
Did you miss that?
You haven't.
Rib.
JL, did you not see that video?
No, I didn't watch that video.
Oh,
I was in Albany all weekend.
You need to check that. He is eating a brown banana, peel and all.
Oh,
just housing it, dude.
Just taking it.
That's not a rib.
Oh. You're vegetarian, JL.
It is a brown banana. It is the weirdest freaking thing. And so we were talking about this, like Will Levis had, and Matt Waldman's podcast was talking about this. They have like not the best marketer, but like his agent, and in this day and age of agents, like you need to be great marketers. And what his agent did was like market the hell out of him, like all the smoke before draft, pumping him up to the first round. None of it was true, but like all these things, like these videos too, it just got people talking about him and got his name out there a lot more. But it's freaking weird. Like, and that's what made his like part of what made his draft stock drop was just that he was weird, like in interviews and stuff. So yeah, JL, you need to watch that video.
You should definitely watch it, JL. Honestly, we maybe should pause the show right now for you to go watch that video.
Mm-hmm. My favorite thing, Willie.
Go ahead, Joey.
I was saying my favorite thing Will Levis's agent did is tell him to go to the draft day one.
Oh my God. Why?
Good job.
Just why?
The chat was on this one, all coming in after Tommy, but Dustin, Scampers, Ladarius, and Dame all getting this one. And Al saying I may have to leave the chat. It's too stimulating. It is a little bit too. It is a little bit too stimulated. Sorry about that. As our producer Adam pointed out, it's Topless Tuesdays on FYF. So Joey, take your shirt off.
Topless Tuesdays.
I mean, I already said I was going to be naked on the show today in a tweet. So
there you go.
I mean, I'm half truthful right now. So
I have done a live stream from my pool before. I think it was last summer. I wasn't even as good as shape too, and I still got shirtless, got in there.
Nice.
Why
didn't anybody tell me about that? Huh? Where was my
draft? It was the draft-a-thon. Everyone was invited.
You're right.
Can we please stream from Canton in the pool?
100%.
Just
100%.
Is that safe to do? Yeah, I think
that's what the world wants to see. Bunch of fantasy football nerds.
I mean,
live streaming from a pool.
It is. We did one time stream like 10 guys in one hotel room bed.
That's true.
Playing Quiplash in a hotel room bed. Nice. Joey, it is time for your first quote.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
I knew that one. Will Levis. I felt good, but
well, I hope you know this one. I wanted it to happen organically. I wanted everything to fall into place as if it would. And over the past 2 weeks, the biggest thing we kind of echoed to each other is that I just needed a chance. It didn't matter what round. It didn't matter exactly what pick. I just needed a chance, a foot in the door. Who said this and why?
So I'm gonna read it one more time. I wanted it to happen organically. I wanted everything to fall into place as if it would. And over the past 2 weeks, the biggest thing we kind of echoed to each other. That's a long quote for one. I think we're going to see a shirtless picture of Jalen Carter here talking about his journey getting to the Eagles.
Joey going with Jalen Carter and his journey to the Eagles. Well, that is a double bonk. Neither is correct, which means, JL, you have an opportunity to steal. What do you think here?
To happen organically. I want everything to fall into place as if it would. Let's go with CJ Stroud landing in Indianapolis.
Okay. JL going with CJ Stroud. And that is incorrect. I'm sorry, Joe, which means, Tommy, you get a shot at stealing this. What would you like to say here?
Can I ask a question?
Sure. I probably won't answer it.
Are the majority of these quotes going to be fantasy related?
Oh my God. I said the wrong name.
The quotes are around the draft in general.
That's fair.
And I'm not saying that specifically related to this one or later ones or ones that have already come through.
Okay. Because it is front yard fantasy. So I just wanted to double check, I guess we play
very
IDP
loose name
sometimes, so that's fair.
Oh, fantasy actually has nothing to do with football. It's about we just are a fantasy, Tommy.
It didn't matter what round. It didn't matter exactly what pick. Man,
what's it gonna be?
I know it's wrong, but I just want to say Bryce Young because I'm so happy that Bryce Young went first overall. I love that kid. I've been watching him forever. I've been all in on Bryce, so I'm just so stoked for him to go there. So I know that's wrong, but I just wanted to say that for a minute,
Tommy,
because I have no answer.
I'm so stoked for Bryce Young, and I just drafted him in the second round of a Superflex Dynasty startup. So I'm like riding the Bryce Young hype high today.
In the second,
that's completely wrong. Entirely wrong. No points for you there. But at least we both love Bryce Young.
Yeah.
So we got that going for us, which means all of you have taken a shot at this one. This was in the chat. Got it. Running back Deuce Vaughn on potentially being drafted by the Cowboys, where his dad is a scout. So that's where the both of them, we talked to each other. Who got this one in the chat? We had Dustin. We had Stacy in the chat getting this one as well. Welcome in, Stacy. And Ladarius getting this one too. Nice job.
I just realized I said
would
the
you like
wrong
to come
name.
to work with me next week?
Would I like to come to Yes, I would. I would love to come to work with you next week, Joey. All right. I think we got time for one more quote in here. John Luke, this one's coming back to you. Are you ready for your next quote?
Oh, okay.
Let's go.
Here's your quote. He's a guy that we've known for a long time. Even when he was in high school, we were watching him. We knew what kind of player he was. Watched him through college. Really excited for that opportunity here.
Really excited for that opportunity here. Let's go with Arthur Smith talking about Bijan Robinson.
Arthur Smith talking about Bijan Robinson is incorrect on both fronts. I apologize, JL, which means Tommy, you got a shot at this. What do you think?
I kind of want to say the same thing I said last time because this is how I feel about that guy. And like, because Bryce played at like Mater Dei High School, I mean, people all over the place were watching him nationwide. So again, I'm not confident about any of these quotes anyway. So I'm just going to say Bryce again. Like, I'm just going to roll with Bryce until it's
the C approach. The C approach down the list. Truly, though, when we would play this in the mornings, I would just say Dan Campbell for all the ones I didn't know because he says a lot of quotes.
A lot of things.
He says a lot of things.
Right.
This is not Bryce Young, Tommy, unfortunately, which means Joey, it's passing on to you. Do you have a guess at this one? Or do you know?
So I'm trying to think of a player that was in this draft class that was like really highly, touted in high school. I'm struggling. I'm just going to say Jahmyr Gibbs. Dan Campbell talking about Jahmyr Gibbs.
Unfortunately, that is incorrect, which means the chat is the only one who got this one right. It was Eagles GM Howie Roseman on trading for DeAndre Swift. So it was on DeAndre Swift being the player that they watched through high school. Hal got this one right. Nice job, Hal. Grim fan getting the Swift. Ladarius was Swift and Dustin to Swift, but no Roseman in there. So all you guys getting 1 point each in the chat.
I like that we're all keeping it honest.
Thinking rookies.
The Swift was going hard.
Yeah.
The chat was going hard with Swift on that one.
Yeah, Scampers said one thing in the beginning, and then it's been all above board in here. How do you guys, Jale, how do you feel about DeAndre Swift to the how do you feel about DeAndre Swift to the Eagles?
I was gonna ask you guys that because I was thinking about it this morning. I was pondering that question. I think it's positive for all parties involved. I think the Detroit Lions made a good move by trading DeAndre Swift. And I think that this is probably positive for Swift. He's going to a better team with the best offensive line in the league. He has got some more competition, but I think he'll be able to really carve out the main role there. So I think it's a positive move.
It's not like he was the clear workhorse getting all the work back in Detroit anyways, right? And people talking about his touchdown upside being vultured by Jalen Hurts. Well, his teammate had 17 rushing touchdowns last season. His touchdown upside was already ruined previously. And then they just brought in David Montgomery to steal it some more. So this is positive for Swift, positive for the Lions, and positive probably most of all for the freaking Eagles, who 2 off seasons in a row just keep doing magic shit like this. Over and over and over again, they're making it happen.
Yeah, I need to go put some money on the Eagles to win the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah,
also
I'm with you. I think I might too.
Hal down here said 2 out of the 3 years Swift played less than 1/3 of the snaps and had 8 touchdowns last year. Yep. I'm excited to see what his utilization is like down there in Philly. Well, Tommy, we are moving on to your next quote. Are you ready for it?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. He's a good person. He's smart. He's very talented. He's had a unique journey and he's overcame. So he just has to get healthy. I believe we have the right situation for him where he can just sit back, develop, get healthy. We're excited about his upside. Who said this and why?
Who said it? Just has to get healthy.
It's gonna be a lot of people.
Yeah, now that we know it's not just rookies too, right? But oh man. I'm gonna go with the Simon approach and just say maybe it was Dan Campbell that said it. But about who's hurt? Okay, I'll cheat. Was it about Hendon Hooker?
So you're guessing Dan Campbell about Hendon Hooker, about the Lions drafting Hendon Hooker?
Yes.
Well, Tommy, that is half correct. This is about the Lions drafting Hendon Hooker. Dan Campbell did not say this, though. Joey, you have the first opportunity to steal. Who do you think said this?
I mean, that was my guess because Hooker got injured at Tennessee, and I said on show yesterday he's going to be sitting for a year.
The Hooker part is
Dan
correct.
Campbell.
It's just the person that's incorrect.
It's probably the owner of the Lions then. I don't know his name.
If you want to say owner of the Lions, that is enough.
Owner of the Lions talking about Hendon Hooker.
That is incorrect, which means JL, we are coming to you. Who said this? It's not the coach, Dan Campbell. It's not the owner, fill in the blank. And JL is silent.
He's muted.
Give me the GM, Brad Holmes.
This is the GM, Brad Holmes, JL. So that's going to earn you 1 point, and that's going to make the final score of this game. As we run out of time, I believe that's 5 points for Tommy, 1 point for JL, 0 points for Joey. And Tommy is going to be our Quotey McQuoteface champion for today.
Nice job, Tommy.
Nice job, Tommy. Which means it is time for our draft of the worst possible NFL draft location. So we're going to get into that. Before we do that, though, I did have a reminder for everybody. Here on BSN, Tuesdays are Tour Junkies golf days. Our friends David Barnett and Pat Perry are going to be talking later tonight at 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern time at bettersports.com or on YouTube and Twitter. You can check it out. So if you guys want some betting advice for this week's Wells Fargo's Championship at Quail Hollow, tune in 7 p.m., 9 p.m. here on bettersports.com. Tommy, since you won that last game, you're going to get to choose your position in this draft. Would you like to go first, second, third, or fourth?
Ooh. Is it a snake draft or?
It will snake. Yes, it will snake back and forth.
I'll take 4.
Is there
Tommy's
third round
taking
reversal?
4.
Oh, yeah. Good question.
Yes, in this 3-round draft, there is no third round reversal.
Are there trades?
No trades. Yeah, it's a no trade clause. This is very Scott Fishbowl-esque. I apologize.
Man.
Just with so many people, we gotta have
you guys Scott Fish. When are you guys gonna have Scott Fish on? I feel bad that he's not on here with me right now.
He's welcome on anytime.
He's in timeout. Oh,
when he behaves.
We send him the damn link
when he behaves
every single day.
Oh, okay.
If you see him in the chat causing a ruckus about being on the show, it's because we sent him the link and he couldn't make it, and he's trying to gaslight us live.
Yep.
JL, since you came in second in that game, do you want to go first, second, or third?
Do I want to go first, second, or third? Let's go with third.
Third? Okay, Joey, first or second?
I want to go first so that I can really shit on this city. Okay. Like it probably needs to be. So I want to go first. Joey's got of awful places to do the draft.
Joey has the first pick in this draft. Joey,
I can't wait.
The 101 in the worst places to hold the 2024 NFL draft. What is the worst place?
Mm-hmm. That would be Tallahassee, Florida, home of Florida State University, and truly one of the most awful places on planet Earth. If you want any type of STDs or any type of diseases, please go to Tallahassee, Florida. If you want to lose your girlfriend to a country music singer on a tour bus, go to Tallahassee, Florida. And if you want to watch a mediocre football team never quite achieve what they did in the 90s, go to Tallahassee, Florida. Thank you.
Damn.
You know, it wasn't even on my list, but now it's the 101 on my worst places to hold the NFL draft. And none of that sounded like specifically personal or anything.
No,
personal,
none of it.
Hal says sounds like I would fit in. So Hal says that's his 101 for places.
Like House is covered in STDs, apparently.
And Scamper says that was deeply personal.
That was deeply personal.
Joey thought this like, I want to go to the NFL draft next year. Where would I want to go least? Tallahassee. Tallahassee, the 101 for Joey. And that means I'm on the clock with the 102 here. Oh, where do I want to go? I've got so many things listed down here. But I think I'm going to go with a place under the assumption that they booked it on accident. They didn't purposely mean to have the draft here. It was a last-minute mix-up, and they're having the draft at Four Seasons Landscaping. Nice. That is going to be my first vote here. JL taking Tallahassee, and I think Newt Gingrich is going to host.
Joey is going to host it.
Not Newt Gingrich.
Newt Gingrich.
I said the wrong guy's name. They're going to host it at Four Seasons Landscaping.
Nice.
Love it.
And now I'm up.
Rudy Giuliani. That was the guy's name I couldn't think of for a moment there. Rudy Giuliani. Singer. The Masked Singer. Rudy Giuliani. I can't believe he was the Masked Singer.
I forget his name.
All right, am I up?
Ken. He walked off when Giuliani came out.
Ken Jeong walked off. JL, that means you are on the clock.
Oh, man. All right. There are a lot of options here. There are so many options, but I got to start with the number one worst place on earth, Atlantic City, New Jersey. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
What about it's so gross? Because in my mind, they got gambling.
Yeah.
Seems like it might be all right for a draft.
Needles in the sand.
Yeah. Needles in the sand.
It's wonderful. It's a wonderful place. I enjoyed my weekend.
Ladies on the street. It's a great place.
Ladies on the street. But imagine the NFL draft there. Then imagine hepatitis.
The needles in the sand sounds like a Weird Al version of some other song. Needles in the sand. Right? Like I can imagine just a beautiful parody. We got Dustin down here with a recommendation saying St. Louis would be brutal. Just rub it in their face that they no longer have an NFL team.
That would be mean.
Yeah.
Hal said Atlantic City has a boardwalk made of human bones.
Stark.
Jail, I will say I have I just had New Jersey in general on my list. It started with the Newark Airport as a place that I was going to draft, but I decided, that might actually be, it was too convenient for people to get to for it to be the worst NFL draft location, right? Like the airport, It's like everyone would get there, no problem. Now leaving the Newark Airport, good freaking luck.
Tim in the chat says, "Oof, I get here just to hear people dumping on New Jersey."
Tim, New Jersey was lovely when I visited. JL was specifically dumping on Atlantic City.
Yes.
Also, Dustin said, if someone who went to Atlantic City multiple times a week for like 5 years, yes, it would be horrible.
It would be horrible. Yeah.
Well, Tommy, we've got 3 places off the board here. Tallahassee, Four Seasons Landscaping, and Atlantic City, New Jersey. You've got back-to-back picks here. Where are you going?
Yeah, I like that you guys all have some very deep issues with some of these places. My first one is going to go anywhere because the DMV in any place you want to put it would be a terrible place to have a draft. And especially because you're going to have to wait in line like everyone else, right? They have to call your number. If someone showed up with an appointment, they're going to go ahead of you, and you're just going to skip your turn. It's just the worst place to have the draft, in my opinion.
They'd call your number, and you'd go up, and you'd first shake Roger Goodell's hand, but then you'd take another ticket, and then you'd have to wait in line to get your hat, and then you'd have to get another ticket, sit down, wait in line for the interview, just over and over and over again.
The whole time. And there's still people there getting DMV services. Like the draft didn't close the whole place down. The DMV still has to operate, right? So it's just terrible.
It's a government agency.
Right.
Driver's license issued, driver's test, vision test, number 4 overall draft pick, driver's license test.
Right. That's all the pictures for the draft. It's just the blue background or whatever you have for your state. Yeah.
One try only. No do-overs.
No do-overs.
God, my driver's license picture is maybe the worst picture of me ever taken. But whenever they took and showed it to me, like, I just said, they were like, do you want us to retake it? They asked that. And I said,
that's nice.
I said, no, just print it. Like it's not going to be a good one. I'm just going to be sad again that I took another shitty picture. Like
and spent more time.
Exactly. Like I tell people that, and then I show it to them, and they're like, "No, it can't be that bad. Like, there's no way it's that bad. It's
pretty bad.
Looks like a different human. Looks like a fat alien, just there on my driver's license."
Mine's about like 100 pounds heavier and with a beard, so I just look like this weird kind of like Taliban looking dude. Doesn't even look like me anymore.
All right, well, Tommy, the DMV is your first place as the worst place to hold the NFL draft. What's going to be your second option here on the end?
Second option is Bakersfield, California. Yeah. If you know nothing about Bakersfield, it's the middle, it's the armpit of America, especially of California. There's nothing there. There's not an easy airport to get there. You got to fly to LAX and drive at least 2-3 hours into the middle of nowhere. It's a crap hole. It's pretty bad. There's no redeeming qualities really. At least like Atlantic City has gambling, right? Like Bakersfield
right. At least you have some games.
Just has like running out of water and like meth or something. Like there's not much there. So yeah, that just seemed like for me a terrible place to be.
Come to Bakersfield. We have water sometimes.
Sometimes. Now everywhere in California, now we're drowning here in California with all the rain we got this year. But normal time of year, the Condors hockey team, I did not know that. That's awesome. I think they have a minor league baseball team there too or something. So yeah, but that's about. Oh, and you guys are all East Coast. Del Taco. I don't know if Del Taco rings a bell to anybody. The original Del Taco is there. That's probably the best thing about Bakersfield. Like it's a taco place. It's not a.
And the line is going to be really long if the NFL draft is there. If they've just got one original taco. God. Yes. And the number one criteria I look for when trying to place an NFL draft is, do they have a minor league hockey team? And if they do, then it moves up the list a little bit.
Yeah, not that
bad. Scampers also loved your first pick, said in an operating DMV is awesome as a terrible place. Also, Scott Fish said, just got here. What I missed. 15-second recap. JL, can you catch him up in 15 seconds? That's it. Perfect. Okay. And now that you're up to speed, Scott, it is JL's pick in the worst places to hold the NFL draft. JL, you took Atlantic City, New Jersey last time. Are you going to shit on another city?
Yeah. I don't know if it's actually a city or just so much a shitty place, but I'm going with Siberia. I've never heard any nice things about Siberia. Not from a single person that's gone there or from people on the TV. So yeah, give me Siberia.
It's pretty cold there. I will say on TikTok recently, there's been like a Siberian folk singing group that's been like making the rounds that are badass.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Freaking
they
badass.
have it's like a thing they play in their mouth, right?
Yeah, like the jaw harp and and there's like a
cool
girl that does like a scream singing while they're playing, and it's awesome.
Badass. Yeah,
it's pretty badass.
So they'll be there. So that's kind of cool.
So
that being said, they probably won't be. I think they're touring the world right now. So the one good thing about Siberia is probably gone.
Man, that must be wild for them. They're everywhere they go is just so much better from where they came from.
It's just not frozen, dark, and lifeless.
It's so much better.
You guys lost that one Siberian follower you had too. He's so pissed right now.
Yeah, shit. Sorry.
We'll lose them in about 20 minutes when they catch up to the buffering with the Siberian Wi-Fi. It's going to take a minute over there. Also, Dustin said, I asked my Russian boss one time how long the train from Moscow to Siberia was, and he said 8 bottles of vodka long to get to Siberia.
Doesn't help.
All right, well, JL taking the frozen wasteland of Siberia as a horrible location for the NFL draft. Teams thought going to Buffalo was bad. Just wait till they have to go there to get drafted. Will Levis would have still been there on day one, though. I think so. That puts me on the clock, and I'm going a different route.
Shark Week?
With this one. No, I'm going this would be really dangerous for everyone involved to hold the draft here. And I'm going with Snake Island off the coast of Brazil. It is the portion of the earth with the highest concentration of snakes in the entire world. Just looking at the coast, you can't even see the ground. It's just snakes covering everything. Oh. People would have to walk over snakes to go shake Roger Goodell's hands. It would be a disaster. Everyone would get bitten by a snake. It would be a pretty bad place to have the NFL draft. That's my pitch for the worst spot to be Snake Island.
Could you just stay on a boat in the water, or you have to be on the island? Like
that location would be on a boat near Snake Island.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah,
if you're just looking at it.
I think also, you can go
do you have Samuel L. Jackson there to help you because he's good with snakes?
You know what? The NFL draft, you might be able to convince Samuel L. Jackson to come to the NFL draft. I could see it happen. All right, I'm taking Snake Island. Joey, that puts you on the clock for your next pick. What are you taking here?
I'm actually going to take kind of a practical pick. I actually did some research for the show, which is not normally something we do here at FYF. I am going to pick Erndine, Turkey. They have the smallest number of hotel rooms per capita. So I would imagine if you're holding the NFL draft and you need hotel rooms, Erndine, Turkey, ain't got them. So don't go there. So yeah, no Turkey.
How do you spell Erndine?
That's
to
my
make sure
next
I have this down here.
It's Erdine. Erndine.
Oh, nailed it. Absolutely killed it. Okay. And then Joey, what is your next pick here? You took the place with the fewest number of hotel rooms in the world. What's next?
I have a question. Are we going to have time for a fourth round?
Maybe.
Because I've got two. Okay. I'm just going to go with
Does
my
that
heart.
help you?
And I'm going to say North Korea. Because nobody wants Kim Jong-un for their first overall number one pick. Yeah.
That was mine.
I don't think North Korea would be a great place.
Yeah, every team would have to draft him with all of their picks, just over and over and over again. It would just be...
The largest pro wrestling event in history took place in North Korea, and the results that came out, like Ric Flair was there, like a lot of pro wrestlers from like the 80s and 90s were there. Good luck finding a tape of it. I think there is some footage out there, but like they show up, but you never hear what happens.
They lost. They were dethroned, and they can never win their title back. We got Bob Harris in the chat. Said, I thought my heart was the coldest permanently inhabited settlement on Earth. Cold and dark.
Cold and dark.
It's Bob Harris's heart, or as Scampers points out, Oymyakon, Russia. By winter average temperatures, it is the coldest permanently inhabited settlement on Earth. So we'll have to get the scientists on which one is actually darker. Joey, you've got one more pick here. What's it going to be?
Didn't I take two?
What was your second pick? Did I miss? Oh, you did. North Korea. North Korea was your second pick. I was trying to stall. That puts me back on the clock. And I've kind of gone different routes here. I went with the oops, we messed up. I went with the danger. And now I'm going to go with a place where I think the NFL draft would really be unwelcome. And that's at the Nobel Prize ceremony. I think having the NFL draft go on stage at the same time as the Nobel Prize ceremony would be awful. Those physicists would be pissed as Bryce Young was pulled up and grabbed that attention from them. It would steal the show. Those crowds, can you imagine the painted up NFL fans in the crowd at the Nobel Award ceremony, like the most prestigious award in the entire world? So that is my pick for the worst location.
I want to see Cleveland Browns. Yeah. Cleveland Browns and Macho Man Randy Savage next to a physicist.
Browns?
The Cleveland Browns. Yeah, that's what happens when they are in Geneva.
Cleveland Browns.
Well, JL, that puts you back on the clock for your next pick. What's it going to be?
All right. I'm going with the world's most deadliest mountain, Annapurna 1, Maine, which is in the Himalayas of Nepal. Has a 32% fatality rate, and that's due to the slopes and causing frequent avalanches on the snow on that mountain. 32% of people going to the draft dying. That's going to be a big bummer on the draft. So let's go with that one.
I bet it would be higher than 32% because I think most of the people that attempt to climb that probably
not going to be in shape.
I've climbed things more often than NFL players have. Like NFL players are in shape, right, but you're going to get a bunch of NFL players, coaches, GMs, people with no climbing experience and send them up the deadliest mountain in the entire world. We're hitting 50%.
Not good.
Yeah. Brian Daboll's rolling down that hill. Not a doubt.
He might be fine. Yeah. He'll just bounce all the way down. He'll be good. Adam, we got our producer coming in saying, could Andy Reid climb a mountain?
Yeah.
I think they can just like stick a bike pump in his mouth and he'll just float to the top. I think he's really, he'll fly to the top on his mustache.
Yeah.
Jail, I do that is on my bucket list, not to
ride Andy Reid's mustache.
No.
You said it.
No, yes, but also to trek around that mountain. There's a 14-day trek around that mountain, the Annapurna circuit, that is incredible. And right after I ride Andy Reid's mustache, I will go and do that 14-day trek. Yeah.
Nice.
But
Scott
my bucket list.
So
the Make-A-Wish kids announcing the pick. Rough break. Brutal, Scott. Yeah, I think they would have to eliminate that part of the draft from the next one if they did it the Annapurna one.
Joey's gone.
I think Joey. I think Scott has eliminated Joey.
Joey has been eliminated from the chat. Well, Tommy, it is your pick here. Where are you going for the worst place to hold the draft? So far, you've got Atlantic City, New Jersey, and Siberia on your list. Or no, you don't. That's JL. You've got an operating DMV in Bakersfield, California.
Yeah, both terribles. Hey, Joey's back. And Joey stole my North Korea pick. Totally sniped me there. So I had to rethink about it, about what would be terrible. And I'm going to pull a little bit from some personal experience here. And I'm going to say the worst place to have the NFL draft would be your wife's delivery room in the hospital while she's having a baby.
Oh,
it would be terrible. That would be terrible. It's just, she would not be cool with it. She'd be mad. They wouldn't be paying attention. And yeah, I just, it wouldn't fit. It's small. It doesn't work. Right. And so the experience I'm pulling from is my second son was born during the Super Bowl. It was Carolina versus Denver, Peyton Manning's last Super Bowl. We had Beyonce at halftime. I know all this because I watched the game while my wife was pushing. Asked her to wait so we could finish the game, right? And then had a great game. And then as soon as the game was over, boom, baby's out. We had a good time.
Dustin said can't get until the round's over. I love that your reasoning, Tommy, was she would not be cool with it. Like it was an option that they could even be cool with it. Know what I mean? So honey, don't freak out. But I told them they could host the NFL draft in your delivery room. That's cool, right?
I have some friends coming over. Cameras.
Middle of contraction. She's like, Roger Goodell walks out. She's like, boo.
I have 50 of the most athletic men under 23 years old coming into this room in about 20 minutes. Is that cool?
Is that okay?
Is that cool? Is that all right with you?
Mel Kiper starts giving draft grades on the nurses walking into the room to help. He's like, I did not expect this guy to come in. He came off the board way earlier than he should have. And his face was as red as I was when Scott said that joke about the Make-A-Wish kids.
All right. Well, you've got one more pick here, Tommy. We've got room for one more round. What is your final pick going to be?
Oh, my final pick. Okay. I'm still processing. Where would be some of the worst places to have this draft?
Also, Dustin said baby comes out with the pick in his hands. Craziest best pick maker ever.
How did he know? He waited 9 months to make the pick.
So stupid.
Comes out just with the envelope.
With the 30-second pick.
He's shaking off.
Kansas City Chiefs egg.
That's so bad. Okay, I would say the worst place to have a pick would be a TGI Fridays that's always busy on Fridays, and you're having it on a Friday, and everything's on a Friday. You got to fit it all in. To be fair, I stole it from a song, but I think Fridays is terrible. I had a string in my burger one time, and so I just can't get over that. And so for me, that would be the worst place to have the draft.
TGI,
and it's my 4th round pick, so it's not that bad. But
my sister worked at a TGI Fridays for a minute.
She put the string in my burger, didn't she?
She probably did. Probably did.
I have on my list, Tommy. I have lists, but this is all just one bullet point. It says Olive Garden, TGI Fridays, Golden Corral, Cracker Barrel. And I was going to pick one if somebody didn't take a restaurant and just have one of those. So I'm glad I think it would be awful to have it there.
I thought about Golden Corral, but when I was in college, like we ate there and I loved the steak buffet. So I couldn't
the draft, the college kids getting drafted would probably go.
They would just be eating the whole time, having a great time.
It would be all right. All right. Well, Tommy's last pick is on the board now. The TGI Fridays happy hour on Friday, which means JL, it's your turn. Where are you going with your last pick?
Me? Oh man, I didn't know he was gonna come back to me. All right,
weird.
Let's go with a crowded elevator.
A crowded elevator. Like Roger Goodell's just in the center of it, and they have to like work. Excuse me, sorry. For every pick.
Somebody farts. It's over.
Every NFL team has a different floor, so depending on where they get picked, they're like, "Yeah, hit the 11 floor."
That was actually kind of cool. I like that.
Shoot, it's turning into a good idea. Quick,
well, it's the fourth round, so they're not that terrible at this point, right? Like
it's true.
Getting a little better.
It's true.
Has anybody ever been in an elevator that wasn't an Otis elevator? Did everybody ever pay attention to
that? Maybe the answer to your question is maybe. I have no idea.
That's a very targeted question for a very small demographic of ours. So, yeah.
I'm more familiar with their escalators.
I've been on the industrial elevators that like are kind of scary, but the kind that I've always wanted to get on, I feel like you only see them in like old timey factory movies, are the ones with just the platforms that go around in a circle like this, and you just like step onto it, and then the platform comes back down the other side, and it's just like next. You know what I'm talking about? It looks very dangerous and illegal now.
All I'm thinking of is like in like Mario Nintendo 64, where there's like a thing.
It's very similar to that, but in a factory and dangerous and probably against worker rights laws at this point now. Dangerous. All right. Well, JL took a crowded elevator, which puts me back on the clock. And I think I'm going with one where it would be really hard for the people to get up and shake the hand of Roger Goodell. In fact, they may never make it because they're going to be stuck in a mirror maze. So Mirror Maze is my next selection for worst place to hold the NFL draft. Good luck finding the stage when it's just at the end of a giant maze of mirrors.
The Weeknd can't do it. Can't do it.
Right? Whenever I hear that song now, it's like certain songs have such strong visuals. It is him just running around like this. Like every time I hear it, I just want to I want to drop everything I'm doing and stand up and like sprint around looking at the sky.
So that's every draft pick coming up to the podium.
Just in this.
We'll probably.
I swear they said my name.
We'll probably get 3 or 4 good ones where they just like run straight into the glass. You know what? Now I'm talking myself into it. You're right. It's the 4th round. This sounds kind of fun to have a mirror maze.
Right? Like they're kind of okay now.
Every draft pick there's like an obstacle course.
Also, Scott Fish said during the AVN Awards, but have to share the podium, flipping between picks and awards. Everyone's liking that one. And then Scott said also potentially a win for the Make-A-Wish kids. And Scary saying it would have to be the year following the Himalayan show to repair public perception.
Of course, yes.
You could 2 birds, 1 stone for that Make-A-Wish kid.
100%.
AVN drafts.
All right. PR win-win.
Well, Joey, you got the last pick of this draft. Your team so far is Tallahassee, Erdine, Turkey, and North Korea. Where is the last?
So I just want to say that, like, on the record, I love cruise ships. I think they're awesome. The Royal Caribbean, fantastic cruise, great food, everything's wonderful. However, if you've seen the videos of the Margaritaville cruise ships going out there, it's pretty awful. It's basically Tallahassee on a boat is what it is. So I'm going to say the Margaritaville cruise ships, any of them, out of any port. And just to be clear, Jimmy Buffett was not the country singer, because he's not really a country singer, that I was referring to during the Tallahassee portion of my draft. So this isn't like a double Jimmy Buffett slant or anything. Like it's
Does the cruise ship leave Does it leave from Tallahassee and just come back to Tallahassee?
I bet you
worst.
that freaking Delray Beach has a Margaritaville cruise ship because it's so close to Tallahassee. I just guarantee it's, yeah.
Just like just for nonstop for days. It's
just that Tallahassee cruise. And if you look to your left, you'll see Tallahassee.
The hangover.
There was one person that took a picture in their shower. Go.
I was just gonna say the Margaritaville margaritas are so much sugar that day 2 of the draft is going to be miserable to watch. Roger Goodell is just going to be up there like with the 33rd overall pick.
The Tennessee Titans take that freaking weird banana guy from fucking Kentucky or whatever.
And then they're just going to like keep on going.
Getting sick from the bad food.
Those sugar hangovers are no joke.
So on the Margaritaville cruise ship, a girl took a picture of her shower and she could see down into like the next floor. Like, because there was a hole in the shower. It was awful. Like this.
That's where they passed the draft.
Which I imagine people can see up as well. So that might have been why the hole was there. But it wasn't like a peephole. It was like a giant hole. Like bathrooms in Tallahassee size holes in the stall.
What? The water just continues down. Yeah.
It's like that.
Saving money.
It's like
it was
Netflix
like to the
movie.
Side.
It's like the Netflix
Human
movie where they
Centipede?
put all the food on the top floor and then just like everyone orders one thing and they bring
It's the elevator or something.
Yeah.
I've seen
You've
that.
seen
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
It's vertical human centipede.
But instead it's with draft picks. All right. Well, guys,
that should have been a human centipede.
every NFL team forms a human centipede and the draft picks have to get added to the end. That's the worst location for the NFL draft. That'll be our communal pick as a group. Is
Mr. Irrelevant is really irrelevant in that draft.
The poor Mr. Irrelevant.
And your bonus is you get to be a human centipede. Congratulations.
All the undrafted free agents are like, yes. It's like a Saw movie, but Roger Goodell is just threatening people at drafting them over and over and over again.
What a weird thread we're on.
The 100 of
What the heck did we get?
As he's
Let's see where it goes.
Running
Let's
and trying
see where
to
it
escape.
goes.
They're trying to fall out of the doors as Roger Goodell's making the next draft pick. All right. Well, guys, on that note, there's the end of our show. Our final teams were Joey drafted Tallahassee, Erdine, Turkey, the home of no hotels, North Korea, and the Margaritaville cruise ship. I said that the worst places to have the NFL draft would be Four Seasons Landscaping, Snake Island, the Nobel Prize ceremony, and a mirror maze. JL selected Atlantic City, New Jersey, Siberia, Annapurna 1, the deadliest mountain in the world, and a crowded elevator. And Tommy took an operating DMV, Bakersfield, California, your own wife's delivery room, and TGI Fridays happy hour on a Friday.
Shout out to Fire Festival.
I feel like we could visit
That's
all
one
of
that
Tommy's
I-
locations.
If we had
in
5
one
rounds, I would
afternoon.
have gone with that.
Yes.
Tommy was just his errands on a really busy day, and he really it just stands out in his mind. All right, well, guys, that is going to be it for us today. We're going to put these up on Twitter for you to vote on what you think was the worst team drafted. I guess the best team drafted. I get confused in these worst best scenarios when you're voting for a winner. But I wanted to give a big thank you to our guest Tommy for coming on and hanging with us. Everybody, if you were not already following Tommy, and some of those draft picks weren't enough to do it for you, or that dominant win in quote he wasn't, maybe this will. Go and follow him right now on Twitter at 2on1FFB, right there below his face on the screen. And you can find it in the description of this YouTube video as well. Tommy, thank you so much for taking the time to come on with us, my friend.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Simon. And thank you so much earlier for mentioning Breaking Bread. Actually, we're putting the finishing touches on the next issue of Breaking Bread. This one with Liz Loza. So it's a great time,
Yes,
great
love
conversation. So I'm really excited to share with you guys. It should be out either this week or the very beginning of next weekend. But yeah, thank you so much for having me. You can find all of our work at theundroppables.com, on social media at every platform. You see me shaking my butt on TikTok. And yeah, you can find us all on Twitter. And thank you again for having me on.
And guys, seriously, if you haven't caught up on that Breaking Bread series, go do it now. That way you're ready when the Loza one drops next week or the week after. That's going to be it for us today. But everybody stick around here on BSN because up next we've got the 5-pack with Kyle Elfrink until 5 p.m. and then the Fantasy Alarm MLB DFS Playbook with John and Pemba and James Cronde until 6 p.m. Eastern time. That's going to be it for us today, though. We'll be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time for some more fantasy football game show fun. Thank you, Tommy. Thank you, chat. And thank you, everybody else that deserves thanks. We'll see you guys tomorrow afternoon.
Bye. I want to sneeze.
Bye. It was